Hello, my name is Ebube Godwin. I want to talk to you today about restoration of status. So people have asked if your visa expires while you're in Canada and you fail to extend, what do you do next? Yes, there's a provision for being able to restore your status in Canada. So if you came with a study permit, a work permit, or a visitor visa, and you want to restore your status in Canada, you have to do that within 90 days of your visa expiration. So is when your visa is expired or your permit is expired that it is said that you've lost your status. So when you are in that situation, you go ahead and apply for restoration, right? Make sure to do so within 90 days of losing your status. It's a strict timeline. Even though we've been able to help a client on humanitarian and compassionate ground, to be able to get restoration of status, even though the person applied beyond 90 days. So that's a rare situation, but it's important to keep to the timeline. That timeline of 90 days is very important to keep. Another important thing to note is that you can only restore to the previous status that you had. If you came as a student, you have a study permit, you can only restore to study permit. It's after you've restored study permit that you can then apply for another kind of permit. It's important to note that. Very important thing to note. Okay. Then if you came with family members, your family members have to also apply separately and pay different fees. There's no group fees for restoration of status. It's important to try to avoid being in this situation by applying for extension, because if you do not apply for extension before your visa expired, then you will not get maintained status. When you apply for restoration of status after you have already lost your status, what you get is not a maintained status. You just get the ability to keep living in Canada, but you are to stop working or studying within that period while you are waiting for approval of your restoration application, right? So you try to apply for extension before you lose status so that you can gain maintained status. If you do apply for extension before you lose your permit, then you can get maintained status. Another thing to note is that to be eligible for this, for restoration of status, you must meet the initial requirements for that permit. For instance, if you're applying for restoration of status as a student, you must still be enrolled in a designated learning institution, that is a DLI. You must still be enrolled into that. And for people who want to restore their visitor status, you must still show finances, proof of funds, anything that is required as though you are doing the application afresh, you must still have that. For a work permit, you must still have a job offer, you must still have, if it requires LMIA, you must still have that. That's the only way you're able to restore your status. And you will only restore to the status you had previously. Your family members have to still apply separately. So these are things to really take note of for applying for restoration of status. We've helped people in our firm to apply for restoration, right? And we can help you succeed as well if you find yourself in that difficult situation where you've lost your status and you're looking for your way forward. Yes, restoration can be the solution that you're looking for. You're only allowed to keep living in Canada within that period, or you're unable to work or study. At least it's a solution that can help you stay legally in Canada. Thank you.